Well, hello again, YouTube. Wanted to bring you guys a video. You've seen the last video of the 365 XL that I purchased. Well, number one, let me back up. I don't condone smoking. Don't do it. It destroys your lungs, lung cancer. You don't stand a good chance. But anyway, you've seen the video on the 365 XL. So, and you notice that I wear bifocals, right? It's getting harder and harder for me to see the rear sight on my rifles and my handguns. And I've tried all the what do you call them? The glow sights, fiber optics. And all I can see in the back is a blur. So I ventured away from my comfort level a little bit here, and we've bought a sight for my 365. And I wanted to give you the technical data on it and tell you my impressions, my first initial impressions. Now, it remains to be seen. Understand, I've only had this sight on here a week, and I've only got, gosh, less than 100 rounds through it with this sight. So far, it's got its pros and its cons, and I'm gonna tell those to you. From an old guy like me, coming, just being straight with you. Let me put this out. All right. So in the market, there are many ways for micro, pistol, reflex, dot sights, whatever you want to call them. And I know there's a technical difference. I researched all of them, mostly through YouTube and channels that I trust, because I don't know anything about red dots on handguns. It's a different world than red dots on a rifle. I know about rifle red dots a little bit, EOTech, Aim Point, SIG, Romeo series, and so on. But getting into the handgun sites, I was lost. So I spent probably a month researching this stuff, talking to guys that had them and shot them. And right off the bat, they've all got the same first advice for you. Be teachable, because there is a definite, huge learning curve from going from iron sights to a optic on a handgun. And if you've got any handgun experience or any experience with firearms period, you could see that. But when you start shooting a handgun with an optic, you really can see the curve. And actually, you don't even have to shoot the gun to see the curve. Drawing the weapon and finding the dot is the number one curve that you're gonna have to overcome. And you can. I feel like anybody can that's, got decent eyes or corrected. The dot's not where you think it should be when you pull your gun. So my number one advice right off the bat would be get a sight that you can co-witness your factory front sights, not suppressor sights. If you have to add suppressor sights to raise it all up, then naturally you lower your point of impact, right? So find something that will allow you to co-witness somewhat. You're not going to get a true 100% sight picture. But with this sight, we've got just enough in the back to where I can practice drawing the gun, lining up that sight in the rear, and then there's the dot. Okay, so when you progress into this, you're not going to be using those iron sights unless the optic fails. So with that being said, we've looked through every price range from 150 bucks, cheaper than that, hell, 50 and 60 on eBay or Amazon, which I would highly suggest you spend 50 bucks and get a El Cheapo and see if you can get over that curve before you go and spend money on a higher, I don't want to say better quality, but yeah, a better quality sight, more expensive sight. With that being said, spend the money, get you one on Amazon, put it on your gun, and see if you like it. Mounting plates and all this, let me tell you, sights are specific to gun. If the gun is pre-drilled from the factory, the 365 XL is. If not, then you have to buy, 90% of the time you have to buy an adapter plate. So that plate has to be specific in 2 roles. It has to fit the gun, and then it has to also fit the sight. There are multiple, a plethora of different combinations there. So if it's too much for you, have somebody do it at a shop, you know, WCI or even Bass Pro, or somebody that will take the time to do it right for you, because you can get lost in all that. But we went through cheap, not Amazon cheap, but we went from, let me give you an example. It's a good sight from what I hear, but you know, for my gun, it would fit, the SIG Romeo Zero would fit directly to the cut that come on the gun from the factory, of course, because it's a SIG handgun, SIG Romeo sight. However, that sight has a plastic housing with a plastic lens. I didn't have to be told about the durability there. Common sense hit me and says, well, that's not going to be very durable. Okay, so, and then I couldn't find one. So what we did settle on is we settled on the Holosun. If you can see that, I don't know if it's backwards or if it's straight. And it's the 407K. The sight comes in red dot and a green dot. I chose green because it just seems to pick up better. Apparently there's some scientific backing on that your eye picks green up better. But anyway, expect to spend about $30 to $40 more for the green, which it's, you know, the little box that come in, I think I give, by the way, I give like $239 for the sight, which, you know, a lot of guys and girls can't spend $239 right off the bat, and that's fine. This wasn't sent to me. I ain't sponsored by nobody, never have been in none of my videos. This comes out of my pocket, so my reviews might be a little wacky sometimes or whatever, but they will always be honest as I see it, because I pay for this stuff. So we didn't unbox the sight and video it. I feel like that's a waste of what, but anyway, it comes in this little cardboard wrapper, and then it's a hard plastic box with a foam little lid lifts off. That's pretty cool. It's got a foam filler that's cut for the sight, cleaning cloth for your lens, a little scanning card to activate the warranty. Comes with a couple sets of screws, and it comes with a tool. That tool is pretty cool because it's a 2-function little mini screwdriver type deal. It does the, it mounts, let me move that. It does the mounting bolts and the adjustments on the sight. So it's a good little deal. It's just awful small and you can lose it. So anyway, there's the sight on the gun. And yes, gun's unloaded, magazine's removed. That's the front side, of course. Now you might see the dot. You see that dot? Okay. This is a 6 MOA dot in this sight. And I chose that specifically because it's easier to find. It's a bigger dot. I don't want a dot for target shooting or hunting. Who's going to hunt with a freaking everyday carry pistol? But who knows? Anyway, a little hard to find. The 6 MOA is a little bit more difficult. Everybody doesn't make one. The normal is from 2.5 to 4. You find droves of them, but I wanted the 6. So, and I'm glad I did that. You see the co-witness little notch right here in the back? I don't know if you can see that or not. See that? That's what they call their co-witness. That's your rear sight. And if you look, I don't know if you can see it or not, It's just enough of it for you to line that front side up in case your dot fails. So let's get into the technical part real quick, and it's rather long. I had to write it all down. We'll get through it as quick as we can. So if there's any issues and you have any questions or something you didn't understand, back the video up and try it again. So this 407K, you have a choice of red or green. Green, you're going to pay more. Not much, but more. It is about $100, $80 to $100 cheaper than the 507K. The 507K will also fit this footprint right on here, but it's got so many features. I mean, it's got different reticles, like a dot with a circle, or a dot just plain, or, you know, all just kinds of craziness. The sight comes with adjustable brightness, okay? It comes with, and here's a big thing, the sight is shake awake. When you grab the gun, the sight comes on. That's a wonderful thing. Another wonderful thing is it has a battery tray right here. This little screw with your tool, you take that screw out and that tray slides out. You replace your battery. You don't have to remove the entire sight to put a battery in it and then have to go re-zero your gun. That's a big selling point, and it was for me. The housing is aluminum. It is 7075 T6, and it has black anodized coating. The lens is glass, if I'm not badly mistaken. Y'all don't jump all over me if I'm mistaken on that, but I believe the lens is glass. It has positive click adjustments. This is your up and down, and that's your left to right with your tool. And what I mean by that is you can actually, if you concentrate, you can feel each little click like a rifle scope. A lot of these sights you can't do that. You just turn it. But this you can actually click it, because it claims, and I hadn't verified it, but it claims each click is 1 MOA, and I believe that's at 20 yards, which I don't know that to be true. I just like being able to feel it click. It comes with Torx head mounting screws, which again your tool fits. You notice these little marks? I've got this torqued down to factory specs, and you see the little permanent marker marks? I did that so in case those screws ever were to back out any, I could instantly notice it without having to put a torque wrench on it. So that's I think it's a pretty smart idea. They put Loctite on these screws from the factory. Don't scrape it off, guys. Leave it in there. It's not going to cause you to need heat to remove it or nothing, but it's not going to let it, you know, it helps prevent it from shaking loose. Keep in mind, this is, you know, this slide as it goes back and it stops, it's putting a lot of torque on this side, you know, flipping it. Leave the Loctite on those screws. They send two different, I think I've told you, two different sets of mounting screws with this sight. One of those, being it specifically, this specific gun is cut for this sight, one set of those screws were the right ones for this gun. It may not always be that way, so just know that. We've talked about the 6 MOA dot. You know, the red's more common and it's a little cheaper, but that is what it is. I like the 6 because it's, when you're on target, it's going to move. You don't know how much you're moving until you put a dot on a target. Well, now the smaller the sight, the more it seems like it's moving. But now on the other hand of that, the flip side, if you're a target shooter and you want true precision and you can rest that sight somewhere, then the smaller will give you, you know, it theoretically will give you tighter grooves. Keep in mind, this is a handgun. It does not have a, you know, 1.5 pound or half pound match grade trigger. It's going to move. So that is what it is. We've talked about this is probably the middle beginner price wise. It ain't the cheapest thing on the market. It ain't the most expensive by far, but they seem to be a pretty good company so far. I think they'll stand behind it better. A lot of people like them because they seem to hold up. The battery tray, I've told you that, and the shake awake. Now that shake awake, when you grab that gun, you don't have to shake it. It's adjustable. It has a sleep mode that you, the user, can set. And I think the minimum is like 10 minutes, and that's where mine is. So with no activity in 10 minutes, that sight cuts off. Okay, you grab that gun, that sight comes on. And I think it goes up to a couple of hours, but why? I mean, 10 minutes, if I ain't shot it by 10 minutes, let it cut back off. So it saves on battery life. This has Holosun's Super LED, and it's a projection. It comes out of a little tiny hole back here, and then it projects upon that lens. That is a drawback with these type of sights. Now you see how that's indented, where that little projector lens is down in there? In extreme situations, this can plug up. If this plugs up with dirt, mud, snow, even if you get rainwater in there, you know, if you've ever shined a light through water, it can be everywhere. This can cause you issues in extreme conditions. If I was in Alaska and this was my, if I didn't have a choice but use a 9mm for a bear gun, I wouldn't have this sight on it or any other projection sight. That being said, this is not a bear gun. I ain't in Alaska, and who in their right mind would shoot a bear with a damn 9mm? But anyway, it's parallax free. Any of you scope shooters know what I'm talking about when I say parallax. Parallax free. You don't have to worry with it. You ain't gonna see visions and images projecting up into the corners and fuzz and all that. However you can, again, this lens is inside this housing. You will get dust in there on that lens on both sides. It's just part of it. I pick it up and I check it and I blow it off. Q-tip, clean it, but it's going to happen. Dust settles everywhere. So keep that in mind. It has an unlimited eye relief. So, you can see that dot. Let me get it on my shirt. See if I can find it again. You can see that dot from way over there. You can see it from right up close. It's unlimited eye relief, of course. The sight is 1.60 inches long from back to front. It's less than an inch wide, like 0.98. Less than an inch tall, 0.95. Sight weighs 1 ounce. I ain't weighed it. That's what Holosun says it weighs. It is a 1x magnification. There are sights that are 0 magnification. There are sights that are more magnification. One's okay. I really don't want magnification in a reflex sight, but this is what I could get. The lens is multi-coated on both sides. They're multi-coated lenses. It uses a CR1632 battery that you can get from Dollar General, Walmart, Battery Source, Amazon. You can buy like a stick of them, like 100 for, they're cheap. I ain't telling you this, but other batteries will replace the CR1632 that have a longer usable life. But now that may void your warranty by putting a longer life battery. As long as they're the same voltage, I don't see a problem. But you might ought to check with the manufacturer first. That's the nerdy stuff. If there's anything that I don't talk about, I ain't crazy about all the white lettering on the sight. I can tell you this, you're going to have an optics cut holster if you carry real deep. But now, with this gun, you don't have that problem because most of the time you only carry up past the trigger guard. So then you still have, let me close it. What do you do? You still have, you're still not hitting the sight. That learning curve is going to get a lot of you. It may get me, but it's good for, weak eyes and old eyes like mine. They say once you're past the learning curve, the sight actually then starts to show show you why it's better for like target acquisition. It's supposed to be faster. I don't know yet because I've only been shooting it, like I said, a little over a week now. We just have to see. If you've watched any of my videos, I've made videos saying, well, this is the gun I'm going to carry. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. And then I find something that I like better. The gun can speak for that. I chose the 365 standard over the Ruger mags. And then I got where I wanted a bigger grip to be able to grab and a little bit more sight radius. So then I wound up with the XL. I can tell you that learning curve, I hate to keep going back to that and kicking a dead horse. Save yourself a lot of money. If you want this type of optics on your handgun, buy a cheap one on Amazon, okay? Put that gun in your holster, pull it and find that sight. Put it back, pull it and find that sight. You don't have to fire a single round. Pull it, find the sight. Take you a piece of paper. I done it. My wife thought I was crazy. Put you a dot on it and a thumbtack, a piece of paper towel. Stick it on the wall down the hallway. Pull it, find that sight. You'll find that dot. And it could take, a couple of thousand repetitions to get to where that sight's, that dot's there every time you pull that handgun. It is the utmost importance because if you pull that thing and you don't know, well, I'm sure I can find it. Try finding it getting shot at, so it's got to be there. You've got to get over that hump. And if you can't get over that hump, then you ain't spent a bunch of money. You've bought a $60 sight off Amazon. That's my suggestion. I ain't your mom and your daddy. I ain't your banker or your accountant. But everybody ain't got money like that. You may have. If you do, hey, go get you a Trigicon RMR and whatever other high dollar and go to town. But that was my suggestion. Start cheap, see if you like it, see if you can physically get over the hump, and then move up. Okay. So far, I'm just learning to find the dot. When I find the dot, I have got a target outside. I didn't video it because I didn't want y'all to see me screwing up. But I got a video that this is 5 inches, 4 or 5, whatever. You can put your fingers like that and cover my group at 20 yards. And I wouldn't really, and that's offhand. I wasn't, propped up on a shooting stick or nothing. Keep in mind, you zero your sight at the furthest distance inside of your home that you can see straight in a straight line. That's what I do. So mine's like 18 yards. So I zeroed it at 20. But now when I started moving up, 10 was still in the same area. But now when I got to 3 and 5 yards, keep in mind, sight over bore. It's going to shoot lower the closer you get. So it's going to be, like that. That's just sight over bore. It's the same thing with a rifle. You just don't get to see it as much because you don't shoot a high-powered rifle at 3 and 4 yards. If you do, then God bless you. So, thank you for coming by again, checking this out. We've got a rather long video here. I didn't mean to make it that long, but I wanted to give you all the stuff that I know so far. Not an expert on it. I don't get paid for these videos, so you'll get an honest review from me every time. If it turns out to be shit, then I'll tell you that it's doo-doo. So, give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe, all that horse crap. Subscribe is a big thing. I need to raise my subscribers. Eventually I want to get to where I can get some sponsorship. That may not ever be that way, and hey, if it ain't, it ain't. I don't care. I'd like it. Ammo's expensive. Handguns and sights. You know, you're looking at, I'm just an everyday working guy. I drive a truck for a living locally. You know, you're looking at, you know, almost $1,000 right here. And I've got several situations to where I've, you know, but I ain't doing it just for YouTube. Don't even think that I buy it because I want it. But keep an eye out for the, much as I hate it, we're gonna have to do a Patreon account deal. But here's one thing I ain't gonna do. I'm not going to do like some of them and say halfway through the review, okay, stop. Now, if you want to know the rest, you got to go give me money on Patreon. I ain't never gonna do that. I ain't never gonna blow the money to pay my truck or my car or my boat payment that, you know, my subscribers are wanting to know about equipment. And I take this rather seriously. This type of equipment is life-saving and family-saving equipment. You know, if you were down and you were diving on the shipwreck of the Titanic, okay, and your oxygen tank sprung a leak, you need another oxygen tank ASAP. It's life-saving equipment. Same thing here. Dead's dead. So you'd be just as dead then as you would be if you had a junky pistol that wouldn't function, or a sight that won't come on or stay zeroed. So thanks for watching. Put God first. And, you know, tell him thank you when you can. It don't take but a minute. You know, just close your eyes, get quiet, and say thank you, Lord. So anyway, God bless y'all. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. Come back to see us again. Thank you.